I know it's kind of been a moment and all. I've actually not posted anything and all, but this morning was just one of those days where I've kind of like had a whole lot that has been happening in the last couple of days, or should I say weeks, and God has actually been placing it in my heart to like just speak up because I kind of feel like based on everything that's happened in the few weeks is part of what a whole lot of people are going through as well. And some people are just there wondering if there's actually a God and if God is actually listening to them or actually has a solution to whatever problems you're going through right now. And I know it could be so challenging, and sometimes you just want to give up and you're like, God, I know I serve you and I do everything I need to do for you, but why do I face all these things? I'm still facing a whole lot of challenges and all, Like I always said, I said in a couple of videos ago where I used to say that being a Christian doesn't mean life is going to be so easy. You shouldn't expect everything to be so rosy and you feel from there on, once you step out and you give your life to Christ, then right from that moment you're not going to face anything again. You're just going to get everything you've been wishing for and all. No, it doesn't get that easy, and somehow the devil still throws a whole lot of challenges, and we just have to always keep our feet up and all. So one of the stuff I actually want to talk about today is I was like I've kind of like learned a whole lot about myself in the last couple of days because I've been able to like take time away from a whole lot of stuff, and it's giving me God is giving me that's time to be able to learn some things about myself, things I never knew about myself before. Like situations where I never knew I would be able to survive on my own and everything because I was always used to trying to survive with others around me and everything. And one thing I want people to actually learn is try not to place your joy or your happiness in any human being, and don't rely too much on people for you to be able to smile or be happy. You need to be able to like learn to have, should I say, self-sustenance and self-joy, like joy from within. And you don't have to rely on any other human being for you to be able to keep a smile on your face or for you to just have that peace of mind and everything. For some people is maybe in the opposite sex, maybe their partner or whatever. Once some people don't know how to stay, I don't really want, should I say some people don't know how to stay single or just don't know how to exist on their own. They always have to exist with somebody by their side, which is really not too good because nowadays we tend to see people going into relationships in the name of I'm lonely, or I don't know how to just operate being on my own. I always need to have somebody to talk to. I need to go back home when life throws a whole lot of difficulties at me. I want to go back home and I'm able to call somebody and just tell the person the whole thing. But I just want you to know that you don't really need any human being around you for you to be able to exist on your own. That's the truth. Because one thing we need to understand is today you might have a human being right here who is everything to you and who you can like say all you're going through to, and the person listens and everything is going on well. But the question I need to ask you is, what if one other day you go back and the person is no longer there? Are you still going to survive? Can you exist without that person? Is a question you need to ask yourself, because once the person steps away from your life, you see yourself getting so depressed and sad because you've circled your life so much around that person, and now you don't know how to exist without that person. So what I want to say is we should never place all our happiness and our joy and everything we own and put it into one person. We should try to concentrate it more on God, because one thing is for sure, God is always going to be present. And I know it can be so difficult because a whole lot of people are saying, I know God is there and I know I need to pray to him and say everything, but it's kind of difficult sometimes when you feel you're praying to God and you know you can't get an instant response. It's not like talking to a human being who you're saying, hey, this is what I'm going through, and the person is able to tell you, okay, this is the feedback, gives you a direct feedback. I know sometimes people are like, it's crazy because I'm trying to talk to God and I'm not hearing anything from him. So I prefer talking to a human being who I know I can have a proper conversation with. But I understand it's so challenging for people, and that's why a whole lot of people are like, I know I need to pray to God, but I also need that just that one human being I can always talk to and everything. I know, but I still want to tell you it's best you place everything on God, because God is everlasting and is not going anywhere. He's always gonna listen to you. You might not get the response you need immediately, doesn't mean God is not listening. Sometimes it kind of is trying to teach us how to be patient, and whatever you're going through, there's always a lesson to be learned from whatever you're going through. Like for me, it's basically been like a crazy week, or should I say a crazy last 2 3 weeks and all. And I felt so down, and I was thinking, how do I pull myself back up from this? But I've been able to realize a whole lot of things, and it's more like God taught me a whole lot of things, and I've learned my lessons from whatever happened and all. And now I know how to like face some kind of challenges, because I never knew how to grow up or be on my own. I was always depending on people to exist and how to like survive and everything. But now I'm learning how to be a man on my own, and like how to survive without having to talk to people, not like not relating and everything, but I don't have to like always put out all my business out there before I can be happy and everything. So I understand that a whole lot of people are gonna say, I need to be in a relationship to survive. I don't know how to not be in a relationship. I get out from one, I'm jumping into another one because that is what I know how to do. But sometimes you need to learn that, so not everybody is ready to be in a relationship, which is actually the truth. Sometimes you just have to take your time and let God prepare you and make you whole for you to be in a relationship. Because if you don't know how to make yourself happy, or how to be happy on your own, then you're trying to bring somebody into your life, somebody with a whole lot of other problems, and maybe the person you're bringing in as well, doesn't know how to exist on his own, or doesn't know how to be happy on his own. Then you have two people who don't know how to be happy being in a relationship, which can be really really crazy sometimes. So sometimes we need to like learn more about ourselves, like try to figure things about yourself. Take time to be patient with this whole relationship thing. You don't need to jump from one to the other in the name of being lonely, or in the name of boredom, or whatever excuses a whole lot of people go give in the name of going into a relationship and stuff. So that was like really what was placed in my heart to like say today. And I just really want people to learn from it, and don't always see relationships as being everything, and saying you can't exist without being in a relationship. You should have a better relationship with God, if not for anything more than you should have a relationship with any other person. Because at the end of the day, we're all going back as individuals. We're not going back as a couple or as a relationship. So we're going back to God as one person. You're going on your own. You're going to face judgment on your own. You're going to speak for yourself. You're not going to go together with your family and say, God, okay, judge me together with my family, or judge me with my relation, or judge me with my boyfriend, or judge me with my girlfriend, or whatever. You're still going to give account of your life on your own. And also that's why I say I think it's best, I know, not even I know it's best to be closer to God than being closer to anybody. And like just try to give him your whole. Sometimes it might be really difficult. Sometimes it's very hard to wake up in the morning and pray. Sometimes it's very difficult to read the Bible, because some people are like, the Bible can be boring sometimes and all. Yes, I do understand. It happens to me some days as well. I'm like, I really don't want to read this, but God has been helping me so far, and I've been reading Psalms so far, and I take it like bit by bit every day. And some days I actually don't have time to read it, but I'm trying to work on myself, and like trying to create a whole lot of time to read the Bible as much as I can. And also, it's really not as easy. Don't feel down, and don't feel like this walk with God is so difficult, because He's gonna make it so easy for you. Sometimes He's gonna bring people to surround you who will make the walk so easy for you. and and don't try to move faster than yourself. If you're looking all around you and people are able to do like miracles and speak in tongues and everything, and you're not able to do it and all, don't beat yourself down and say, God, I'm serving you, I want to be able to do this. Sometimes God is trying to always teach us something. He has a plan for your life. He has a time when He wants some certain things to happen in your life. So you don't need to rush anything. Our life is like, shall I say, is like a book to God. He already knows everything that He has planned out for us, and we have to learn how not to do too much by ourselves. Like, let God always, every day you wake up in the morning, just always tell God, like, God, direct me, just go ahead of me, and lead me, do everything you want me to do for you. Like, just direct my footsteps. Let me talk to the people you need me to talk to today. Let me see the things you need me to see today. I don't want to do anything by my power. And I know it might be difficult because sometimes you're trying to do things and you're like, you know what, God, I'm just going to do this myself. I can't wait for you because I'm not hearing from you. It doesn't feel like you're listening and all, but you have to learn how to tell God, like, God, more of you and less of me. I don't really want to do things on my own. And life really gets way, 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 way easier and all. So I just was trying to like motivate people. Yesterday was one of the days where I'm actually in school and all, and I have like this project where I need to like work on and stuff, and it was so overwhelming because we have to like like do a project of about 20 pages and like 25 PowerPoint slides and all, and I was like wondering, God, how do I start this? Because I was so confused. It's not due anytime soon and all, but it just was so overwhelming for me because I had like other assignments coming up and all, and I'm like, how do I start this? I had no idea and all. So I got off the phone with like a friend and all, and we're just talking generally about a whole lot of stuff. And I was kind of telling her like I don't really know where I'm gonna start this from, and I was ranting and complaining. But immediately I got off the phone, I just started praying. You know, sometimes you don't know how it just moves you. You just begin to pray. And I was praying, and it was like I was having a very good conversation with God because I was just telling him, God, you know, I've missed a whole lot of things you need me to do. I know I've not been following your word as much as you need me to do and all, but God, I really need you right now. And this is like my life really because I'm in school. I'm not a failure, I'm a success. I need to make sure you need to make sure that this project works out as good as I want. Just direct my thinking in the line of whatever the professor wants to see in this project and all. And what just happened, really, I stopped praying. I took my laptop and I just started typing. Out of 20 pages, I was able to like do about 10 or 11 yesterday night all through. And I was so surprised because I didn't know I could come up with so much as I did that day. And I'm still yet to go back and read it though, but I feel good about myself. So really sometimes you just need to learn to ask God. Don't always assume that God knows what you want because yes, He might know that okay, you need this, but have you asked for it? Because that was one of the stuff we're taught in church. Like, yes, God knows what you need and everything, but you need to open your mouth and ask God for it. Like, fall on your feet, fall on your face, ask God for things you need. Don't just assume, God, I know you know what I need and you're going to provide it for me and everything. So I'm not going to bother you with it. I'm not going to ask you, your God, you know everything. He needs you to open your mouth and ask. It's like when they say, ask and you shall receive. And that's it. No, don't just always assume God knows everything and all. So I think I'm actually just gonna stop here and all, and I will try to be a little bit consistent with the videos and all. But I just really pray for everybody that's facing one thing or the other, even if the year has not been so good for you so far, and you actually had like goals and objectives you made for yourself for the year, and you've not really been able to meet up with everything. Don't give up on yourself. Sometimes the goals you set for yourself sometimes is not in line with what God has planned for you. Sometimes He has like a bigger purpose for you. That's why maybe what the goal you set for yourself is too small compared to what God has set out for you. You might be trying to seek a job, and I'm talking to a friend in particular right now. I know you're trying to get a job and everything, and it's looking. Actually, I'm talking to more than a friend right now because I think I have a couple of friends that are facing that. And you're trying to get a job, and it's crazy right now because it's like everywhere you're going, you're at home, they're talking to you about you need to get a job, you're getting old and everything. And it's looking like, God, I've gone to school, I've done everything. How come every other person is working? You're going for trainings. The kind of job you want is not what you're getting and all. And it's so frustrating because I understand you need the financial backing for yourself to be able to take care of yourself financially and all. And I know it might be so difficult, but I really pray for you. And I always put you in my prayers, and I know God has something really big for you coming soon. You just need to always open your heart and receive it by faith, and always know that yes, you're a child of God, and God is going to walk with you, and is going to place every good thing in your life, favor, and everything is going to come your way. And I pray for everyone that is facing any form of challenge, sickness, and any doubt about God and everything. You're doubting God. I really pray for calmness in your heart and everything. And I always need you to remember that He sent His Son to die for us. The Calvary is Calvary is really is real, and He died for us to take away whatever sorrow and whatever bondage we're going through. So we need to believe that Jesus Christ actually died to take all our sins. So no, don't always go back and maybe you've been having like a fall back on sins you always told God you're not going to do again. I'm not going to mention any form of sin right now. So whatever sin you know you've been falling back on and it's looking like, God, I don't think I can move away from this. Don't beat yourself, because that's the devil trying to mess with you, saying you've sinned now, so you don't need to go back to God. See, that was the main and sole purpose He sent His Son to die for. Do you know what it means to actually send the only Son you have to die for the sins of so many? No, so you need to make use of it. Don't let the devil always beat you down and tell you you can't move on from this and everything. Don't sit down and always go, well, I've sinned. It's looking like a whole long step going back and seeking God's face again. God is always right there, just waiting for you to ask for forgiveness and move on immediately. You don't need to dwell on your sins. Like immediately you sin, fall on your face, ask God for forgiveness, and move on. Like don't remain where you are. Move on immediately. Go back doing what you used to do. Read your Bible and do everything. Don't give room for the devil to do and beat you down and make you get consistent in the sin. That's always the problem we're going through. So I really just pray for everybody. If you're in school and it's looking like schoolwork is so difficult right now, well, it's really gonna be well. And I know there's always a purpose for whatever you're going through right now. So just always try to pick the positive from it, and everything will be good by the grace of God. So I thank you guys for those who watch and everything, and I really appreciate you guys.